Hey guys, welcome back to another Title Talk. This episode we're going to discuss something I'm getting questioned on all the time. When will this white hot seller's market end? Hi, this is Jim Brown. Welcome back to another episode of Title Talk. I am an attorney at James Brown Law and New Path Title. Today we're talking about something I don't have an outline for, but it's something I get questioned on probably 5 to 10 times a week. Realtors call me all the time, sellers call me all the time. When is this white hot market going to end? And nobody has a crystal ball, but I do want to bring something to your attention that has been brought to my attention from a couple of other agents, and this makes complete sense to me. And that is, prices are much higher on some properties in an area where comps are being drawn on because of Airbnb transactions. And what I mean is this: if you have a block and the block has a property on one side that's an Airbnb, and I'll give you an actual transaction, the property sold for $1.2 million. Every other property on that block was between $650,000 and $850,000. But when they priced out this Airbnb property, they use an income approach. And so the buyer, the several buyers who were not domestic buyers, they were international buyers, were willing to pay significantly higher for the property because the property was going to be an income generating property. Why is that important? So now the realtor had a seller over here and another realtor had a buyer over here. And they're looking at this price of 1.2 in all these other properties. And so this seller down here was trying to ask a price that wasn't going to be supported because it wasn't an income property, and so they were trying to convince the seller to list at a much higher price, and they were trying to convince the listing agent to list at a much higher price that wasn't realistic. And then in this transaction over here, the buyer was so excited to buy into the property because they were buying at such a discount compared to this Airbnb property that was priced well over the otherwise benchmark transactions in that community. So the point I'm trying to make is this: it's one thing to look at the comps, but you have to go beyond the comps and understand the nature of that particular transaction. In my neighborhood, we just had some property sell for several $1 million, and there's nothing that supports it in the area except for the fact that those were going to be Airbnb properties, they're waterfront, and those buyers had income ideas on their mind. But what happens to the rest of the properties in the neighborhood? Overnight, you had vacant lots going for several $100,000 more than they were the day before, just because they have this new comp. But here's the important point to make: as the Airbnb market cools down, which it will, no one knows when, those values are going to come down. And the point I'm trying to make is, know your comps. And there is a saturation point coming in the Airbnb market, but nobody knows where it is. But I've talked to many agents that are already telling me they're seeing Airbnb nightly rates flattening and in some instances coming down. Thanks for following us. Again, Title Talk is where we try to make you guys the best realtors on the planet, and we look forward to giving you more information next week.